for Game 3 of this PvP. First plateau.
Yep. See both players on the screen right there. Those two handsome European guys.
They're so handsome.
I know.
Europeans are handsome.
I know.
I know.
I'm the exception. I hate my friends. Just kidding, Mom, Dad, love you.
Alright, Rotterdam, you can go ahead and introduce the player.
Alright, so we have Grubby, our blue Protoss, spawning in the right bottom side of Shakura's plateau, and DignitasBlinG, UK Protoss, spawning on the left top side of this map. PvP on this map in general, a map where people love to go for mind games. I can't tell you how many times I haven't seen fake 4-gate over here. And then Protoss are like, oh, I need 3 gates, triple sentry. And then the other guy's like, haha.
LOL, I'm expanding.
Actually, yeah. Actually went 1-gate Nexus or 1-gate console, and I'm gonna have Blink much quicker than you. But we'll see. Other than that, this is probably still the best Blink Stalker map around. It's just a ridiculous amount of area where you can move around. Even in the natural expand, you can come from here as well if a robo player would go for an expand. Then again, you still have guys who try to pull off a robo expand with, certainly since the newer Mortals got so much better than the old one. You can pull it off, but yeah, certainly these two guys, I really expect Blink Stalker action out of both of them.
Yeah, I like to compare the early game of this map to Antigua Shipyard. You have the main base that's lofted up. You have a natural expansion that has a ramp leading up to it that's relatively easy to protect. But again, there's all that space where stalkers can blink in and out. Now, as it gets to the mid to late game, it changes quite a bit. On Antigua Shipyards, there's a lot of open space in the middle of the map. However, on this map, Shakura's Plateau, there's only one main attack path. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to get a nice amount of expansions. And it's scary to attack your opponent, especially if Colossi are involved. The concave is so important, and if you can position your units in such a way where no matter what, if your opponent is attacking into you, you have the superior concave. No Protoss player is going to want to engage into that unless they're like extremely far ahead, or they're extremely bold and are obsessed with their micro and their ability, have complete confidence in their ability to micro. But that's all later on. Anything can happen in this game. We're not seeing anything crazy this far, unless again I'm blind. But I don't think I am.
No, not yet, man.
Alright, not yet.
Everything is standard so far. It's kind of funny that you brought up those Colossus wars, because back in the days this was like the ultimate expand and let's max out on Colossus, and then it's like 16 Colossus against 14, nobody ever attacked. You got like 3 upgrades. Fortunately PvP has changed quite a bit, so well, I'm not saying that we're not going to see Colossus on this map, because it's still very possible after the whole Blink Stalker phase, or some people, as I mentioned before, still like to go for it straight away. But you don't really see people just maxing out on Colossus anymore. You're going to see something else. Even motherships have become very good in late game PvP. If one guy is just playing it overly passive and the other guy gets a mothership out, it's almost impossible to kill the mothership Protoss army without a mothership yourself.
I've seen a surprisingly large amount of games that involve 2 motherships from both players. Now I'm not saying that's going to happen in this game, but one can hope.
I like this little move right here from Grubby, putting the probe on hold position, disallowing Blink to take that assimilator for now.
They're both just chilling there.
Yeah, well, Blink wants to make sure that Grubby doesn't steal this assimilator, because that would be really bad for Blink. Oh, Blink.
It's like they're staring at each other.
Oh, now Grubby could actually steal it, and I really think it would be a good move for Grubby to steal it, because Blink is opening up with Stalkers, so it really takes quite a while before he would be able to take out that assimilator, but Grubby is just waiting. Grubby didn't take his own assimilator yet.
No, this is interesting. Again, the rush distance is pretty far, so expansion builds not too out of the realm of possibility. 2-gate opening from Bling here. Did Grubby see that? I'm pretty sure he
Grubby is chrono boosting that cybernetics score really a lot. So far it's 3 gates, and I think it's going to stick to 3 gates, but you never know. This time, however, I do feel that that Bling is going to be a lot more prepared than he was on that first map.
Yeah, and Grubby taking out this probe, that's very important. In this matchup, if you can take out your opponent's probe, you feel so safe. And now Grubby's going to be free to move this probe forward, and he's definitely going to try to make a pylon. Now the question is where. He's going to try to sneak up into the main base, he's going to put it somewhere else, warp in some units, and then try to sneak the probe into the base. But Grubby's definitely planning on doing aggression.
Bling has to be so careful. You really can't send those stalkers out too far, and that's exactly what he does not do. He waits until the bottom of the ramp. Might get a couple of shots off, and this one stalker of Grubby. Grubby, you have to pay attention.
Trying to bait him?
I don't think so. I think this was just a mistake from Grubby. He took way too much damage. And this is going to make it a little bit easier for Bling already to defend against that 3 gates pressure from Grubby. Bling right now has 2 gates. He's going to get his 3rd gateway and the Twilight Console.
Okay, just finished.
But Grubby is still going to try to put on quite a bit of pressure over here. Taking a look at the unit counter tab, it's going to be 6 Stalkers and 1 Zealot against 4 Stalkers for Bling. But Bling will be able to wipe in 2 Stalkers right now. Oh, Bling, don't send that Stalker too far away.
Oh, this is scary. The Zealot coming up. Grubby adding on another pylon. Bling should know what's up.
Force
Bring for the sentry. Force field, the red. Force field, the red. Only 3 Stalkers get up, and Bling should be able to target fire, take every single one of those out. Loses 1 Stalker of his own. One could say, you know, he's not like that's not optimal, but we're not going to be too nitpicky here. And
I think it was
Grubby,
really good.
He's going to continue forward here. Bling trying to pursue Grubby's Stalkers on the right side of the map. Grubby warping in more and more units here. Bling has 3 Stalkers here, warping in 2 more Stalkers. Can add a 3rd one pretty soon, I hope, for his sake. But this is close. Might have to pull some probes here.
A little bit missed micro right there by Bling. Took a lot of damage, losing 2 Stalkers without killing anything of Grubby, and now he's going to lose quite a few probes. Grubby's doing this so good so far. Grubby's going to go back to the ramp. Once again, really nice micro by Grubby on that single Stalker. Oh my god, Grubby is really out microing Bling right now.
Yeah, Grubby has a lot of Stalkers that are very low in health. Bling can target fire those down will be a little bit better for him. That's exactly what he does. Grubby now down to 3 Stalkers. Probes trying to get in on the action too. They're sick of mining. They want to play in the fight as well. A Zealot coming forward from Grubby. Make that 2 Zealots going straight for that sentry. 3 Zealots, and Grubby had 36-34 supply behind this, putting down a robotics facility. Is Grubby going to stop committing here?
Yeah, I think he is. He knows he has those he's actually going to warp in 2 Stalkers. I don't think that's the best decision. He's going to end up losing one of them straight away.
Wow.
Might pick off 1 more Stalker from Bling, but I think that's about it. Ooh, look at that probe. Could have been a hero probe. But the Stalker in the end does kill the Stalker of Bling. Grubby wants to kill some additional probes. That's not going to happen. Bling right on top of that. Still really... Oh, he actually took out 1 more probe. Really, really nice aggression from Grubby.
I think he overextended a little there.
Yeah, I think that final 2 Stalker warp in wasn't worth it. But besides that, I think he did everything right. And somehow this probe is still alive in the base of Bling.
Uh-oh, that could be trouble later. Oh, the Stalker's going to go look... maybe not. That probe is shivering in his boots, man. Oh, that looks like... He's dead.
And the funny thing was that this didn't look that bad for Bling. I really love that force field. I mean, it would have been even better if it was only 2 Stalkers, but I still think 3 was okay. But it went really wrong for Bling when Bling tried to reposition over here, and Grubby got 2 big shots off for free. He took out 1 Stalker here, and then he took out this Stalker as well. So Bling suddenly had to fight with 2 less Stalkers, and from that moment on, Grubby just did everything right.
Yeah, it went from like a bad situation to an okay situation from Bling there. Now he has Blink on the way, but Grubby getting plenty of Immortals out. He has 1 in queue, 1 already on the field, and Bling has no ability to really blink up considering he doesn't have an observer on the field. So he's not going to have high ground vision, which could get a little bit dangerous. If he has all those Stalkers and 2 Immortals on the high ground, I could see, like, I'm pretty sure a Stalker can get one shot from all that. And in fact, I'm confident it can. So I don't see Bling's push being successful.
No, I really hope that Bling does not go for the suicide Blink, as we love to call it. No, yeah, he is expanding, so probably just wants to see what's going on over here for Grubby. Grubby's going to drop him. He's going to drop the force field. Takes out 1 Zealot, and Bling gets the hell out of there.
Poor Zealot, man. All his friends left him. He's like, "Where'd you go, guys?"
Sacrifice for the greater good.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Looks like both these players are going to end up expanding. Grubby has a minor supply advantage. Might try to do some pushing here.
Grubby has to be careful with that 1 Stalker, but he knows that Bling doesn't have high ground vision.
Yeah.
Immortals in the front. Oh, Bling. Wow, Immortals are so powerful against Stalkers.
They're so good. So I'm wondering, is Grubby going to try to do a little bit of a push here behind these 2 Immortals? That is a tech advantage for him. You know, he has 2 Immortals, his opponent doesn't. However,
I think he's going for fake aggression. I do not think he's actually going to commit, because
the Blink can just counter it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one thing to worry about. And of course, he can just force field back home because Grubby doesn't have any massive units across the force field. So
exactly.
There's that to consider as well. And it looks like we're going to transition to the mid game in PvP.
Yeah, man. We've got there finally.
I know.
It took 5 games, but here we are.
Last game technically kind of sorta, maybe.
Last game was really unorthodox. Blink trying to poke a little bit, but it's so hard to pick up units against 2 Immortals. Certainly if the Protoss positions his Immortals correctly, and well, knowing Grubby, he will always do that.
Yeah. You know, both these players getting their expansions up. Looks like a robotics bay going down for Grubby, so definitely to go into that Colossi production, unless he gets a speed warp prism out. But
I think in this phase it makes a lot more sense to go for Colossus. And I actually think if Grubby would add another robotics facility in the near future, I think if he would go for a double robo push without any upgrades, he doesn't even need to get a forge. I think Bling is going to be in a lot of trouble because Grubby's just going to have everything a little bit quicker. He's going to have more Colossus, and if you're going to try to fight that with Colossus on your own, you're gonna need a small miracle to come out victorious.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm almost wondering if Bling's going to be the one to put down the double robotics facility. He has to know that he's behind in tech. You know, he has to know he'll always have a Colossi disadvantage of his opponent, unless he double robo Colossis, or however you want to phrase it.
Big problem is that Bling just had so little vision compared to Grubby. If you take a look at Grubby's vision, he always had that pylon over here. He's been really active with that observer lurking around the main base of Bling.
Oh, yeah.
And Bling is just guessing. I mean, he can probably suspect that Grubby is going for Colossus, but still he doesn't know. And meanwhile, Grubby knows everything.
Yeah, and Bling doesn't have an observer coming forward. Going to try to do some Blink stalker harassment. Probably going to try to blink it on the high ground. Grubby unprepared for this.
Yeah, Grubby kind of out of position. That's,
he can even snipe the Cyber Core.
Uncharacteristic for Grubby.
What, do you think he can snipe the Cyber Core?
He could, but I would rather snipe a couple of probes. Because I don't think Grubby doesn't have to make stalkers right now. Okay. He uses all his gas for Colossus anyway. And I think Bling knows that.
Not target firing anything in particular there.
3 buildings at the same time.
Oh, be careful trying to pick up Colossus, losing a lot of
he did do a lot of damage on. Oh, nice force was right there by Grubby. Picks off one more stalker.
Alright.
I did kind of like that. I mean, he lost. If he would have only lost one stalker, I think it was an okay trade.
He almost got the Colossus.
Yeah.
54 HP.
Well, picks up the observer of Grubby. That's a really nice victory. Now Bling is getting the double robo before Grubby, and that's surprising. Despite Bling having a slightly better economy, he's 4 probes ahead. I still think Grubby was the one who could have afforded that quite a while ago, and then he would have been pulling ahead in Colossus production.
Yeah, that's true. It's something to consider. Perhaps if you're investing a lot in Colossus, you have less of a ground army, you have less mobility, so the Bling Stalker is able to do a lot more damage. But it looks like Bling trying to do some more harassment with these Stalkers. Again, putting that double Colossi behind this, or double Robo. Again, realizes his opponent has more Colossi than him.
He might actually pick off this Colossus right now. Oh, he's focusing the Zealots! Bling, quite a big mistake there.
Blink away. Oh, wow.
Blink was on cooldown. I mean, I really like that offensive Blink. If he would have picked off the Colossus straight away, but he missed micro. I think he didn't have high ground vision over there. I think that's why.
Did he have the Watchtower? Because the Watchtower gives you that high ground.
Yeah, he did, but then he blinked out, so then he didn't anymore. So I guess then he lost the vision.
Like, oh, I see the Colossus. Blink forward. Oh, it's gone.
Where did it go? And in the end, he didn't even get it. Lost again a couple of Stalkers. Rather unnecessary. Man, this Colossus, he must feel like, well, the entire world hates me.
Gosh, he's getting picked on. And this is interesting. Grubby going to be taking a third here. We didn't see this happen in the last match. Bling definitely could have taken a third behind his aggression, but decided to pour all of his resources into that aggression and ended up winning the game. But does Bling go for an expansion here? Does he do the same thing as last game? Again, invest everything into a 2-base push. But, you know, again, to consider on this map, I keep harping on about it, but it's important that the one attack path in the middle, if the Protoss opponent on the other side of the map positions his units correctly, it can be pretty hard to engage them. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye out on everything. Let's look at upgrades really quick. 0-0 for Bling, and
1-0 is about ready for Grubby, and 1-0 is on the way for Bling as well. Come on, Bling, micro a little bit. That was a bit sloppy. Took way too much damage on that Stalker. Almost ends up losing it. I mean, as silly as it sounds, I kind of like the position of Bling, not only because he's 14 supply ahead. Oh no, now he's actually taking in third base. I really think if Bling would have all in of 2 base, I think Grubby would have had a really, really tough time holding that.
I agree. 4 Colossi. You know, one of those Colossi very, 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 very low in health. Has all the shields though.
Bling has 6 Colossus, 2 more on the way. Imagine if he would have gone with 8 Colossus.
I agree. I agree. It's definitely playing it safe. Again, it all comes down to positioning to a certain extent, and now Grubby is going for the double Colossi production. So we're going to see War of the Worlds here, as both of these players producing double Colossi.
Yeah, now I really wonder, because on a certain moment it just gets too hard to attack anymore. You cannot say, okay, Bling is 2 Colossus ahead right now, he's going to be 2 or maybe even 3 Colossus ahead in 3 minutes, then he can attack. No, because then the Colossus count from Grubby gets so high that the defensive position is just so much more important than the Colossus count.
Yeah, and your Colossi has to run all the way across the map to reinforce. You can't warp Colossi, and again, that's coming in the next match.
No, Legacy of the Void, bro.
Warp Prism speed on the way for Grubby. We could see some fancy Colossi micro where you pick up your weakened Colossus. But Bling wants to do some aggression here, going straight for the third base. Has a nice concave, so if Grubby decides to attack...
Grubby's way out of position, actually. This is so bad for Grubby.
You know, there's one thing he can do. If Bling overcommits to this and takes out the base of Bling, Bling can position his units in such a way where there's a concave and Bling can't go anywhere. But Bling too smart for that, going to send 3 Zealots into the natural expansion. There's a cannon warping in, not sure if it's going to finish. There might be a big battle here. Grubby positioning his units. Grubby has his superior concave at the moment. Bling in a giant ball here, and there's going to be an engagement here. Immortals trying to target fire down those Colossus. That's exactly what they have to do. Bling microing forward 5 this Colossus targeting down the Colossus of Grubby, but Archons are in the composition of Grubby here, which will give him the advantage here.
Soaking up so much damage, and Immortals doing so much damage as well. Grubby really taking this game right now. Wow. He's dealing so much damage. These Colossus are kind of trapped as well. That one Immortal, what a hero Immortal that was for Grubby. Not sure how much damage the Zealots did over here, but that could have gone so much better for Bling. Grubby did it perfect though.
Wow, that was intense. Grubby just essentially demolishing the army of Bling there. Up ahead now, 130 to 105 in the supply. And of course, the Immortals were instrumental in that, as well as the positioning. He had the Superior Concave, it felt like. Bling was in a giant ball. And he had Archons in that composition. That was important as well. But hold that thought. Grubby wants to do some more aggression here. He wants this win. He wants to advance to the next round of the $10,000 Lone Star Clash. And he might go for it right now, man.
He's up 27 supply. He's getting a Stargate on the way right now for Grubby as well. So that kind of gives me the feeling that Grubby's not going to attack and that he's just going to let Bling macro up again.
He wants a mothership, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where I'm heading to. So that's why I would be kind of unrealistic to think that Grubby's doing that and then still wants to attack. Then again, he really did take out a lot of damage. Take a look at the units lost resource tab. We see Bling lost 1,800 more resources than Grubby. And Grubby was actually the player with the quicker expand.
Bling is getting a Stargate too.
Yeah, but I don't think Grubby's gonna give Bling the chance, the time for that.
I don't think so.
Once more, Bling losing 2 Stalkers. Just all game long, Bling has been losing a couple of units left and right. Just often a few too many.
There's not much of a ground army here from Bling underneath this Colossi. I think there's only, what, 10 Zealots?
Yeah. I'm loving the observer activity from Grubby though. All game long he's been controlling observers, whether it's close to his army or close to the army of Bling or close to Bling's main base. Just super active with them. Really good play.
Alright, Grubby not really wanting to engage here. I feel he definitely has that army comp to do it. There is a War Prism on the field. I don't know where it is.
It's on the top side of the map.
Okay, keep an eye on that. Don't wanna lose track of that. Loading a Zealot in there, going to try to do some harassment in the main mineral line of Bling. Is going to see the fleet beacon that is on the way.
Bling once more with a Colossus advantage. Grubby perhaps just waiting for +3 to be ready, and then he might actually attack.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned before, and this is what we mentioned before as well, in the old days it was just about, okay, I have 16 Colossus, he has 13, I'm going to win. But those Archons, they are so good, not only to mess with the AI of the Colossus, but just to soak up so much damage as well.
Yeah.
Once more, Bling ends up losing 2 Zealots. It's so unfortunate for Bling. All game long I just feel a couple of moments he's been a little bit too sloppy. Key moment was probably this one blink over here as well. I mean, I like the idea of taking out that Colossus, but when it didn't work out, losing 4 or 5 Stalkers, he could have really used those in the fight.
War Prism going to the main base of Bling right now, dropping 1 Zealot in the main base, 1 Zealot at the natural expansion. At the same time, Grubby's going to use this to try to distract Bling and attack up the front, but Bling has such a good concave here, laser beams melting away the entire ground army of Grubby. Blinking forward his Stalkers, Bling has no ground army to support his Colossi, and all these Colossi are essentially naked. And I think Grubby's going to take this right now.
Yeah, that's definitely how it looked like. What a beautiful blink by Grubby, and straight away how he positioned all those Stalkers not to line up. GG, well played is what Blink says, and what a fantastic PvP this was by Grubby. I think this was so well, that final engagement from Grubby, that was played exceptionally well. He knows to mess with the AI of the Colossus. That's all that matters in these fights. Straight away sending in a couple of Zealots, then blinking it forward, and I don't know how, it almost looked like Marine splitting, the way that he split up the Stalkers straight away. So all those Colossus only attacking 1 Stalker at a time. Perfect play.
There was a very small ground army underneath the Colossi. You can't just make Colossi in PvP anymore. You can't do that. You have to have a ground army to supplement, or there's nothing to tank the damage, and the Colossi are going to die incredibly fast. So some of you out there may be like, hey, Bling had more Colossi, he should have won. Not necessarily the case.
Not anymore. Used to be like that.
It used to be. And I'm not going to say this was a game changer, but Bling going for the Stargate, going for the Fleet Beacon, as early as he did, rather than getting that support army on the ground, rather than working on his upgrades, that may have hurt him a little bit. You know, trying to tech that mothership when you don't have that much of an army, it's a little bit questionable in my opinion. And Grubby just continuing to just get his army bigger and bigger, adding more Colossi, adding more Archons, getting that War Prism into the main base of his opponent, trying to distract him while attacking the front. That was awesome to see as well.
Yeah, I think it was all really cute, but obviously the turning moment in the game was that attack from Bling. It looked kind of good. I think he could have gone away with it, but Grubby had the positioning, and those 2 Archons and that 1 Immortal, they soaked up so much damage, messed with the AI as well, and then obviously Grubby's positioning was really good. But I felt if Bling would have just had 1 or 2 Archons on his own, it would have been a really different fight.
That was the thing. Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, Bling has this, and then all of a sudden I see a big blue ball of energy, and an Archon's being warped in, and 2 Archons join the fray, and then, you know, Grubby has the advantage from that point on. The Archons just tank so much damage, and I think, are we going to transition to the main stage?
Yep, I think it's time to go over ratios on the main stage. I think we're going to have a small interview, and after that we'll be right back with Destiny against the Muslim, which should be really entertaining as well, so stay tuned.
Thanks so much, guys. You're right, we are going to do a short interview with Grubby. Grubby, if you'll join me on the stage, receive your round of applause from your appreciative fans. That was a really tight match there. How did you know exactly what to go for when you guys were so evenly matched in that last game?
Well, it's like you said, quite evenly matched, and then you know what to go for because Colossus Gateway Army is pretty much the meta game for PvP. So actually, as soon as you feel like you're kind of equal, that's what people go for.
And how did you feel playing on these BenQ monitors? They're supposed to be optimized for RTS. Did you experience any, elevated gameplay there?
Yes, they are really great.
Super. Well, you're going up against Stefano in the next round. You actually have a winning record against him. Are you feeling pretty confident?
Sorry?
You're going up against Stefano in the next round. You have a winning record against him. Are you feeling pretty confident?
No, actually I don't.
Oh my gosh, what was I reading? I'm sorry.
No, I like your version better. Yes.
Well, in my fantasy world, how's it going to go?
I will continue my winning record, so yeah, beware.
And I'll keep dreaming. Thanks so much, guys. Hang tight. We're going to have a commercial and be right back.